Hello, everyone. Welcome to Career Launchers YT channel, specially for law aspirants. We continue our series on reading comprehension. Today, we have chosen a very interesting passage which will help you not just in reading comprehension but also for your legal aptitude. I've taken this passage from the Hindu. It was an editorial that appeared uh, today or yesterday, a couple of days back maybe. It's about 420 words long, the same size, length as your CLAT passage, and even the questions are all similar to it. It is about the APAR ID. Let's see. Now you're watching a recording of this. Please mute the video, pause the video, read the passage on your own, answer the questions, and then play the video and see if you got the questions right. All right, let's start. The introduction of an automated permanent academic account registry, a PAR ID by the Ministry of Education to digitize, I'm sorry, to digitize academic transcripts of every student aims to ensure a single source of truth for their records throughout their life in the academic ecosystem in India. So they've created a permanent academic account registry so that everyone's record, every student's account, mm, marks, transcripts are all stored here in and become a part of the academic ecosystem in India. Linked with Aadhaar, APAR is far from the first such step towards a rapid digitization of school records in India. Since the implementation of the NEP 2020, educational authorities have pushed the Unified District Information System for Education Plus, UDISE Plus, and the Student Database Management Information System. While these radically novel technocratic overhauls of record keeping are one thing, this is okay. It's a new way of keeping records. The blatantly unlawful ways in which they are being pushed on parents and wielded as weapons at the state level is another level. So, keeping records is fine, giving a technocratic overhaul of record keeping is one thing. But in the process of having a record of marks, at the state level, this is being pushed by the governments and it is being wielded as a weapon against the parents, and that the author says is unlawful. The description of apar as unlawful is no mere interpretation. So he has openly called it unlawful. Why? The Education Ministry's website is clear. Why is it unlawful? The author is saying because the Education Ministry in the website says the program is not mandatory. It is not compulsory for all of you to do that. Mere with no law mandating its usage. There is no law in the country that says you have to have an APAR ID. But schools and district education administrators do not seem to be operating within that reality. The Education Ministry has clearly said in its website it's not mandatory, there is no mandate, there is no law mandating the usage of APAR. But the way the schools and district education administrators are using it does not make this statement true. In Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka, schools have been given an unambiguous target, clear target. There is no ambiguity there. 100% saturation or complete enrollment of all students in their fervor. Fervor means passion, zeal. To attain these targets, the schools have warned parents of consequences in the event of non enrollment, and state education authorities have rattled their sabers. Sabers is like a sword at religious minority institutions and even at fellow administrators, alleging a mismatch of enrollment data between APAR and existing records. So the government has clearly said, the Education Ministry's website says it's not mandatory, but that's not the reality. Certain states like Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka have 100% enrollment enrollment in upper. Excuse me. And schools and parents have been warned of consequences of enrollment, and state authorities have even threatened minority institutions, fellow administrators, that there is a mismatch, alleging a mismatch, not necessarily between what has been entered into a part and the existing record. So, a lot of uh, unlawful, very unsavory things are happening. In the initial days of what has now been rechristened as the digital public infrastructure, the government has similarly been all too keen to propagate Aadhaar and services such as Digi Yatra to an unsuspecting public, achieving such broad coverage that a formal mandate later becomes a fait accompli. So what they've done is, in the initial days, the government propagated Aadhaar, Digi Yatra, all this to the public. And when they got broad coverage, the public is unsuspecting. They gave it. They gave the data, and when they got such a broad coverage, that became a mandate. So so many people have enrolled, so you also enroll. All too familiar issues such as name mismatches, leading to failure of enrollment have also emerged. It is important for informed consent to be the bedrock of any DPI. In the case of Aadhaar and Digi Yatra, he says that the public was not informed, it was unsuspecting. Informed consent, this is what you are consenting to, this is what is the other consequence. Everything has to be told. Informed consent has to be the bedrock of digital public infrastructure. Whatever data you're taking from me has to be given with my consent, right? Else it risks being mandated de facto. If informed consent is not there, then it is as good as being something which is mandatory. Collecting and digitizing this data, with all claims of security and convenience, should be alarming when Digital Personal Protection Act 2023 has yet to take effect. You are saying that, look, all this data is secure, but the point is that the Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023 has not even been implemented. More importantly, the Supreme Court of India has ruled in its right to privacy judgment, Aadhaar cannot be mandated for basic education. So the author's final word, APAR, is an ill-disguised proxy that steers clear of the text but not the spirit of that judgment. So APAR is just a proxy. It is just ensuring that Supreme Court's ruling is not uh, flouted. At the same time, the spirit of that ruling has been flouted. That judgment has not been flouted because the Education Ministry in its website has said it's not mandatory. So then they'll tell the Supreme Court, we've said it's not mandatory. But the spirit has not been followed. You cannot force anybody at whatever level, even at implementation level. You can't just have it on your website saying it's not mandatory, but the people at the lower levels, at the school and the state level, cannot make it mandatory. If the government wishes to undertake the goal of improving the reliability and accessibility of education records, which is the purpose of APAR, it should back its administration of that effort with legislation. There should be a law, then it should do it. Clear? This is the passage. Let's read the questions. What is the central message of the author? What is the author's message in this passage? The APAR initiative's objectives to digitize students' records are fraught with dangers and security risks. The objective itself is not, but yes, this is not the main message though. He says that there are security risks, but this is an extreme thing of his message. He's not saying that digitizing by itself is wrong. Yes, there are security risks, and so you should ensure that's not there. This is not the central message. The APAR initiative is unaccessible, being flawed in both its objectives and implementation. The author hasn't questioned the objectives of it. Objective is fine to have a proper record, but implementation he has a problem with. So this is an extreme statement. The power should not be passed on students and parents without consent. This is also one of the points, not the main point. The power ID should not be imposed without a law in place. That is true. Therefore, because already Supreme Court has passed a judgment. Therefore, the correct answer is D. It's okay if you want to digitize your records, but do it properly. Do it with the backing. The last line of the passage says exactly this. Therefore, the correct answer is option D. Which of the conclusions follow from the passage? APAR being implemented in ways that align with its non-mandatory status? No. The education ministry's website says it's non-mandatory. Implementation is not aligning with that. It misaligns because they are being forced. People are being forced to enroll. Authorities are coercing parents and institutions into complying with APAR despite the absence of a legal mandate. That is true. Authorities at the state level, the schools, are coercing parents and institutions. Mandating a PAR is in line with the Supreme Court's judgment. No, Supreme Court's judgment says Aadhaar, right to privacy, you cannot mandate Aadhaar as part of your basic education information. India has effective data protection. Author says no, 2023 Data Protection Act has not yet been implemented. Therefore, only B is the correct one, can be concluded from the passage. What is the assumption implicit in the author's argument? Author's argument says they want to have a record of educational record of all the students. Fine, but do it properly, do it with the sanction of law. Don't make it mandatory. Correct, it should be voluntary, and you should have proper steps in implementation. Informed consent. And what is the assumption behind this? What is the author taking for granted when he makes this claim? Informed consent. He says this is an important part. You have to, any data collection has to be with informed consent, otherwise it becomes compulsory. And privacy protection are essential prerequisites for collecting and digitizing personal data. Author has stressed on informed consent, author has stressed on privacy protection. Therefore, before implementing APAR ID, therefore the assumption is they are prerequisites. Author believes they are prerequisites. Therefore, A is the correct answer. Question 4. Why has the author used quotes, single source of truth? If you see the first paragraph, the author says, the introduction of APAR to digitize academic transcripts aims to ensure a single source of truth for all their records throughout their life in the academic ecosystem of India. So this part, single source of truth, aims to ensure a single source of truth for all their academic records. Why has it been put in quotation marks? That's the question. To emphasize that truth can only have one source. Now, if you read the rest of the passage, what did the author say? The author said however, the ministry says this is not mandatory. But the way the state is implementing it makes it mandatory. Digitizing academic records is fine, but do it properly, do it with legal sanction, do it with legislation to back you up, do it with inform the public. Informed consent has to be there, protection has to be there, then you can do it, right? So why did he use the single true source of truth in quotes? Not to emphasize that truth can have only one source, right? To highlight support of the official terminology, the passage, the author is not in favor of APAR the way it has been implemented now. So B is not correct. To indicate skepticism, his doubts, he's questioning whether this is correct. Therefore, to indicate skepticism of the official terminology used by the government to describe APAR. Is this really necessary? If it is necessary, is it being done the wrong way? So he is asking a lot of questions. Therefore, the author has used the word single source of truth in quotes to show that he doesn't agree with that. to show his doubts, to show his skepticism of that term. Question 5. But schools and district education administrators do not seem to be operating within that reality. What reality is the author referring to? Let's go back to the passage. Yes, here. The description of apar in as unlawful is no mere interpretation. The Education Ministry's website is clear that the program is not mandatory. The author is calling it unlawful. Why? Because the Education Ministry's website says the program is not mandatory. There is no law mandating its usage. But schools and education administration do not seem to be operating within that reality. The reality is that APAR is not mandatory. That's the reality according to the website. Okay, so what is the reality? We look at the option which matches this best. The reality the author is referring to is the official position stated in the Educational Ministry's website that it is not mandatory, not mandatory. There is no law mandating it. Therefore, that is the reality. But the way school and state authorities are working is not reflecting that reality. Okay, therefore, option A is the correct answer. Expression fait accompli used in the passage means he said when a large number of people unsuspectingly gave consent to digiyatra, Aadhaar verification, whatever, then the large number of people, the majority using it, became a fait accompli for mandating it, right? So what does the expression fait accompli mean? A decision that is made after consulting all stakeholders, but the stakeholders were not consulted. A situation that is still under discussion and open to change? No. A plan that has been proposed but not yet an action that has already been completed and cannot be undone, leaving others with no choice. So a lot of people have already taken digiyatra, Aadhaar digitization, whatever. So the others say, since most are doing it, you have no chance but to accept it. So that is how the word has been used in the passage. Therefore, D is the correct answer, an action that has already been completed. It cannot be undone. The fact that many people have given lot of information and data for digiyatra, Aadhaar, whatever, and so others, no choice. Since the majority has already done it, we have no choice but to accept it. Right? So D is the correct answer. I hope you got all your questions right. If you have a question, leave it in the chat box. We will see it and answer it. If you have any inquiry about our courses, long term, short term, do call 8130038836. Our counselors will talk to you and help you. Until I see you next time, thank you for attending the session. Do like the session if you've liked it, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel so that you can get regular updates of our sessions. Until next time, bye bye.